Tom was a poor boy. He lived in a small village with his mother. They had little money, but Tom was a happy boy. He loved to draw. Every day he found a stick and drew pictures in the sand. One day an old man saw Tom drawing. The man smiled and said, "You are very good, but why don't you use a real brush?" Tom looked sad. "I don't have a brush," he said. The old man took out a golden paintbrush and gave it to Tom. "This is a magic paintbrush," he said. "Use it well." Tom was surprised. "Magic? What can it do?" he asked. "Paint something and you will see," the old man said and walked away. Chapter 2. The Magic Begins. Tom went home and dipped the brush in water. He painted a fish on the table. Suddenly the fish jumped. It was real. Tom's eyes were big. "Wow! This is real magic," he said. Then he painted a loaf of bread. The bread became real. He gave it to his mother. "Now we will never be hungry," he said happily. The next day, Tom saw a poor man with a broken cart. The man looked sad. "I can help," Tom said. He painted a new wheel. The wheel became real and the cart was fixed. Everyone in the village heard about Tom's magic brush. They came to him for help. He painted food for the hungry, clothes for the poor, and even a house for a homeless family. Chapter 3. The Greedy King. One day, the king heard about Tom's magic brush. "A magic brush? I must have it," he said. He sent his soldiers to take Tom to the palace. The king said, "Paint gold for me." Tom shook his head. "No, I will not paint for a greedy man." The king became angry. He put Tom in jail, but Tom had his brush. He painted a key, and the key became real. He opened the door and ran away. The next morning, Tom was back in his village. The people were happy to see him. Tom continued to help them with his magic brush, but he never painted gold. He only used his brush to help good people. And so, Tom and his magic paintbrush lived happily ever after. This story is longer and good for reading practice. Try reading it aloud and note the new words. Let me know if you need more stories. Tom and the Magic Paintbrush, Part 2. Chapter 1, A New Adventure. Tom was happy in his village. He used his magic paintbrush to help people. He painted food for the hungry, houses for the poor, and toys for children. Everyone loved Tom. One day, an old traveller came to the village. He sat near the well and looked very tired. Tom gave him food and water. "Thank you, young boy," the traveller said. "You have a kind heart, but be careful. The greedy king is still looking for your brush." Tom's smile disappeared. "The king?" he asked. The traveller nodded. "Yes, he wants gold and power. He will do anything to take your brush." Tom felt worried. "I must protect my brush," he thought. Chapter 2. The King's Trap. That night, Tom had a strange dream. A voice whispered, "Go to the mountains. There is something important for you." The next morning, Tom packed some food and started his journey. He walked for hours. Suddenly, he saw soldiers on the road. "They grabbed him! The king wants your brush!" one soldier said. "Never!" Tom shouted. The soldiers took Tom to the king's palace. The king laughed. "Tom, paint gold." Tom had an idea. "I will paint, but only if you let me go after that," they said. The king agreed. Tom took his brush and painted a big ocean inside the palace. Suddenly, water started rising. The palace was flooding. "Stop! Stop!" the king shouted. Tom quickly painted a boat and jumped in. The water carried him out of the palace. The king and his soldiers were stuck. Chapter 3. The Secret of the Brush. Tom reached the mountains. There he found a small cave. Inside he saw the same old man who had given him the brush. "You are brave, Tom," the old man said. "The brush chose you because of your kindness." Tom asked, "Why is this brush special?" The old man smiled. It was made by ancient magic, but its power can only be used for good. If a greedy person tries to use it, the brush will stop working." Tom understood. He promised to always use the brush to help people. He returned to his village as a hero. The king never troubled him again, And so Tom and his magic paintbrush continued to make the world a better place. This is the second part of Tom's story. Try reading it aloud for practice. Let me know if you want more. Tom and the Magic Paintbrush, Part 3. Chapter 1, A Mysterious Letter. Tom was living happily in his village. He used his magic paintbrush to help the poor. He painted food, houses, and clothes for those in need. Everyone loved him. One morning, while Tom was working in his garden, a pigeon flew down with a small letter tied to its leg. Tom opened the letter. It said, "Dear Tom, I need your help. My village is in danger. Please come to the Golden City. Princess Alina." Tom had never heard of the Golden City. But he knew one thing. If someone needed help, he could not say no. He packed his bag, took his magic brush and started his journey. Chapter 2. The Golden City's Secret. After 3 days of travel, Tom reached the Golden City. It was a beautiful place with tall buildings and golden streets. But something was wrong. There were no people outside. Tom walked to the palace. There, a young princess was waiting for him. "Thank you for coming, Tom," she said. "Our city is under a curse." "A curse?" Tom asked. The princess nodded. "A wicked magician named Zorak turned all the people into statues. He wants my kingdom. Only your magic paintbrush can help us." Tom took out his brush. "I will help you, princess." Chapter 3. The Battle with Zorak. Tom and the princess went to the magician's castle. It was dark and cold. Zorak was waiting for them. "Ah, Tom, I have heard of your magic brush." Zorak said, "Give it to me and I will let you go." "Never," Tom said. Zorak laughed and raised his hands. "Then face my magic." He threw a bolt of fire at Tom. Tom quickly painted a shield and the fire bounced off. He then painted a rope which tied Zorak's hands. "No, this cannot be," Zorak shouted. Tom painted a golden cage and Zorak was trapped inside. Suddenly, the statues in the city started turning back into people. The curse was broken. Chapter 4. A Hero's Reward. The people of the Golden City cheered for Tom. The princess smiled. "Tom, you are our hero. How can we thank you?" Tom smiled back. "I only want one thing. Let this city always be a place of kindness." The princess gave Tom a small golden locket. "This locket will protect you on your future adventures," she said. Tom waved goodbye and returned to his village. He knew that his magic paintbrush still had many stories to paint, and so Tom's adventures continued. This is part 3 of Tom's story. Try reading it aloud for practice. Do you want a part 4? Let me know. If you enjoyed Tom and the Magic Paintbrush, get ready for part 4 coming soon. Don't miss it. If you love exciting stories like this, make sure to like, share and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more amazing stories to life. See you in the next part.